so I'm gonna do a little bit of a demo review for you here. I'm just gonna try and identify some of the decisions you make, things that you can improve on. So I have already watched over this demo one time. I have identified a few times where you could have made some different decisions that help you, and also I'll give you some tips on sort of how to play certain different angles. Yeah, let's get into it. So, just one thing I want to say before we like really get into this as well. I don't have any voice comms. For some reason, Faceit doesn't have whether you're calling a game or anything, so I can't always be 100% clued up on whether you're making a call or whether your teammates made a certain call, which is impacting your decision. So just be aware anything that I say may be based off of just sort of what I'm seeing. Unfortunately, I don't know why that information just doesn't come through with the Faceit demo, but it is what it is. Yeah, let's carry on. So I'm unaware whether you've made this call yet at the moment, just because this teammate here is still AFK basically. Same with this teammate waiting. Typically on a pistol round, especially on ANUBIS, if they're willing to commit a Molotov and a smoke, it's most likely going to be this area, especially with the guy flanking here. If you've called it and your teammate hasn't listened, that's not up to you. It's just the level of sort of competition that you're at. So here, this isn't terrible what you're doing, but your teammate has this angle here where he can see into pretty much the whole of the site, and you're kind of limited to only taking angles in this sort of area. You know he's shooting at this point. You should probably take this angle and just try and peer in and see if you can help him at any point. Small things, but these small things help you win rounds. Shot. There's a little bit of panic when your teammate came in. Obviously, it's going to happen until you get a bit more experience, but it's okay. You hit a nice shot initially, so let's see what happens. Unlucky, you know. He's hit a nice shot on you. You've just missed. It happens. So now you've switched up to mid. I don't know whether this is, from what I saw in the demo, I don't know whether this is something like your teammates communicating or whether you're deciding to make these decisions where you've changed position, because some rounds you play A, most of the time you will play mid. It's mostly between mid and A, but then a couple of rounds you would go B, and they'd be buy rounds. And what I tend to find, especially when you're, you know, a lower level player who's learning the game, is generally stick to one spot until you've mastered that spot, because then you can move on different site. So say you've mastered mid, you know how to play all these different angles, you know how to, you know, flash yourself in, you have your own plays with smokes and breaking the smokes and flashing yourself in, you know, taking water control. But until you've mastered these areas, I would stick to one position, then move on to another position, and then you can figure out what's best from these angles. And then if you do that on every site, you know, you're gonna know what you're doing, especially when it comes to like a retake. If you're a mid player and you know how to play B, you're gonna know how to do these smokes and these utils eventually. But it all just takes time. So that goes for every map as well. So I would say here, not a bad idea to smoke it, but you kind of need to be thinking with two things in mind. You need to make space. You need to start aggressing into the site instead of coming to a standstill and then smoking it. So you should be realistically walking to like this area here and then throwing this. Not bad, you know, you guys are on pistols into a buy. So. guys were against the odds, so you know what happens. It was a nice try though. It was the first buy round. So you're playing mid. Okay, now this angle, when I watched the demo previously, you played this angle quite a few times. I wouldn't really recommend doing this, as it is a very, very common pre-fire spot. You probably know yourself, if you come mid, you're going to try and jiggle tap this, especially if there's a smoke up, which I believe your teammates just threw. Yeah, so a bullet almost came past your head there. Yeah, I'd recommend just jiggling in and out, playing in front of the doors. Second with your teammates taken here. Whilst the smoke's up, once the firing's subsided, maybe take this angle, or just keep jiggling in between this, here. Maybe take some space. If the smoke's landed deep enough, you know, have a little check into water, but yeah. Honestly, I would only have a post on the angle if I have an ult. I'm pretty sure you do that at one point, but yeah, just keep jiggling. This is great. So, your jiggling was good, however, your positioning, you spent a long time here. You know your teammate has this. Now that he smoked it off especially, I mean, he should be taking a better position realistically if you want to double up, because obviously the T's are here, and there has been shots in water to indicate that they are coming to this side. So you make a good decision to come in. Yep, this is great. So now there is a pick in mid. Okay. It's a little bit slow. If that guy's been picked in mid, it's a difficult one because you're probably not used to the timings, but they don't know whether you're playing, you know, 3B, 3A, 2 mid. They have no idea how many players they're playing. So they're probably, it's unlikely that they're going to rush through here, and they're going to take their time clearing this angle and seeing if anyone approaches. So you probably could have just sprinted through here and taken, probably this angle would have been best. Hold this off since you know that it was a guy in mid, or alternatively your teammate should be calling now that they're coming out here, so you should be sprinting to here to try and help cover him from main so that he can focus on this side of the site. But yeah, just rotations just take a little bit too long. I'm pretty sure you get punished here for not going faster. I think you just need to be a little bit more confident in sort of your decisions. You tend to like freeze almost, or just take things very slow. You know, at the end of the day, this is a video game. You just need to be confident in what you're doing and not second guess yourself so much. Here, you could have took a jiggle and just seen what there was. Realistically, the bomb is down. You're in a 2v4. Your teammate is here. You're here. It's very unlikely that you're going to win this situation. You should probably just back off and save as soon as your teammate in sight died. But yeah, as I was saying, look, this guy has crept up. If you were faster in the rotation and taking this position, you probably get this kill, and you could be here for another kill, which could in turn have your teammate speeded up here. This probably pulls this guy away from the water to focus on you, and then you would have an in. It'd be a 2v3. You know, it's more likely than a 2v4 and dying in the side. So, you know, there's things to think about. I'm not really sure what your team are doing, but probably would have been better if they all had to come with you. I can see one of these guys has a flash. Yeah, number one has a flash. So I mean, you all could have pop flashed. If you flash off this wall here, it's quite hard to see. But it bounces over, and you could all push out together. And you probably most likely catch both these guys. So once you're ahead of this molly and they haven't heard any tick damage, you should be pushing out here, because this guy's he's got his back turn here. Obviously, you can't know that, but if he's mollied that deep, he's not expecting anyone this close. So you should try and take advantage of that sort of psychology of how he thinks and where you are. But yeah, yeah, also crosshair placement is very low and it's very wide as well. If someone's going to clear this angle, they're going to cut up the angles, and they're going to see you like here before, you know, you're then going to have to adjust your crosshair quite drastically to get that kill. So another thing, so a smoke has just landed here. Typically, when someone smokes off A main, they're going to guard it a lot less, because who's going to push this? If you walked out the side here with your SMG, you would have a great advantage, and it'd be a big surprise to them. Like, let's have a look. So 6 and 9. Oh, he's actually missed the smoke. So maybe not. If the smoke hits and it lands inside of main, it's I mean, even so, they both don't care. You know, they glanced at it. Let's see if this other guy has a look at it. No, doesn't even care. You could have pushed that. Maybe you get 2 or 3 kills here. That would have changed around quite a lot. But yeah, just to push it a little bit late. Nice kill. So here, your teammate has just died outside B main. Your teammate here has this section of the map cornered off, and your teammate here has this section cornered off. There's no possible way that he can get to this position, which you hold for quite a while, without crossing one of your teammates first. So ideally, I mean, you know, your teammates are giving them 1v1s here. You should try and support probably this teammate. I mean, either of the teammates really, as fast as you can, just in case he wins this duel. You know, he has it in, and then it's another 1v1 with you, and then another 1v1 with your teammates, just so spread apart. So this round could have fallen apart quite easily. Pretty sure you end up winning the round. So just be aware, you know, even when it's a 1v3, the round isn't over. You should try and split your teammates as quickly as you can. Okay, so we've got an AWP this time. I'm pretty sure this is one of the rounds we post on this angle. Yep. This isn't necessarily bad, and to be honest, I wouldn't crouch this angle. It can work, you know. Sometimes they're gonna miss because you're such a small target, but at the same time, you just want to be quicker. And if you're crouched, moving away, if a rifle swings into you, you shoot here and he's here, he's gonna start spraying you. You're gonna be slower to leave this angle because you're crouched. And if you just stood up, it makes you more mobile. You're going to be quicker to get away from the angle and less likely to die if you do miss that shot. Obviously, you know, you're not guaranteed to miss. It could work out, but it's a numbers game. But that's okay. Your teammate took care of them. Counter-terrorist win. It's not terrible. So exactly what I was saying about the last round. You know, you got dinked through the wall there. You're quite lucky to be alive in this situation. Nice shot, by the way. You hit a good one there. But yeah, this angle is risk to reward. You're gonna get a kill sometimes, but more than likely, especially against better opponents, as you slowly climb the ranks, you know, you're gonna get punished for sitting on that angle. I've done it myself, you know, and I've punished people hundreds of times for doing that exact thing. So just be aware. And change up your positioning. I like this, what you're doing here, but I feel like you don't get aggressive enough with it. You have a full belt utility. You could easily flash over here, over the wall, and then peek out and take this angle. And then they've got to peek into you or flash back into you. And, you know, they've already expended quite a lot of util, so the chances are you're probably going to thrive from doing that. So here, they've done a smoke and naded you. So they're expecting you on this door angle, and they've smoked you off. So they can either walk through the smoke or walk through here on a timing, which could catch you off guard. Realistically, in this situation, you want to pull back to either here, here, or here. Now, you haven't played any of these angles, so any of these angles will be a great angle. Ideally, the camera spot is good, because you can fall into A and spot your teammate if they start pushing here, which I think this guy might split into. The bomb's over here for some reason. Oh, crazy. But yeah, this round you're going to get pushed, and you play a very, very close angle. yeah, this is, you know, this is where you'd expect to be playing, like, with an MP9. You should never play an AWP in this spot. Especially for so long. Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure you get punished here for being in this spot. You get the first kill. Then you don't expect the second. If they're in a, you know, in a 2v, what was that, a 2v4 at the time, you should expect them to be together. Because, I mean, they've got to go together, right? If one dies, they have to trade and they have to plant the bomb. But yeah, just pull back. If you're playing this angle here, you would have seen this guy, you would have killed this guy, and then this guy's alone in a 1v4, and you would not have been traded straight away. Yeah, it's just sort of deciding when to fall back. If they start doing aggressive nades mid, you know, they're going to try and pressure it. Especially when you've got every other sector of the map. This guy's holding this. If you've got every other part of the map and your job is to hold mid, you should definitely be falling back and making sure that you sort of block this area off from being pushed. Very lucky to win that round. It could have went sideways. Ended up in a 1v1 clutch, yeah, from a 4v2, which could have been changed drastically if you just positioned it. Now you're playing A. I'm quite unsure on why you do this. Maybe your teammates called, I want to play mid. Fair enough. I can't really know because the comms. If you're playing mid, you typically want to be the mid player. I like the initiative to come and find some information out. You're in a 3v4, so one of you on either side needs to make a play. This guy's pushed mid, so you know it's going to be either A or B. And now you've heard the steps. At this point, you should be calming. They're most likely outside A. I've heard a guy just drop down off carpets, and then this guy should be able to pincer with you. So you get a kill, not the guy you were initially aiming at, which is unlucky. That's what I was saying about this angle. You just need to hold your crosshair a little bit higher, a little bit tighter to the right. You probably would have got 2 instant headshots there, and maybe a spray down into the third, or maybe he trades you, but you would have done, you know, another kill's worth of damage, which would have been a better situation for your team to be winning. Yep. So it's a higher likelihood of your team winning if you just kept your crosshair a little bit tighter and a little bit higher there. It's unlucky. Let's see what happens here. So you have an AWP this round. Like, teammates are a bit confused on what you're buying. Pistol. So yeah, you were punished for playing that angle again. If a smoke comes down here, I would leave this angle straight away. Maybe wait a second in case they've got a set util for nades here. If they don't, just flash over, edge in, try and get a pick. If not, just fall back. There's no harm in falling back. Staying alive is much more important than, you know, trying to get an early pick, especially when you have nobody on A. I mean, this guy's AFK. It is what it is, you know. I'd recommend, if you get smoked off, just try change angle, maybe fall back or flash your teammate in over the wall here. If you just throw one high over this wall, blind anyone in mid, and this guy can take a quick look and then fall back, and you can just wait out the smoke. But yeah, unlucky. Shot. Okay, so I remember in this situation, spent quite a long time here while they're rotating off to B. When the terrorist side throws the smoke, obviously it's missed here, but they don't know that it's missed. They think they've smoked this off. They're not going to come through mid through their own smoke here. If they're not pushing A main, which you know they're not, because your teammate has this angle here, they think that the smoke is up, so they think that you're still going to be pressured here. They're not going to come from mid through their own smoke here. It's very, very unlikely, especially when you see nothing mid. They're more likely gonna go to the empty bomb site. So I would just straight book it, try and get a frag, you know, do the best you can with what you've got. So in this situation, you don't have a whole lot to lose. You've got no armor, you just have a Desert Eagle. They have 2 AWPs and 2 rifles, so you have a lot to gain, even just from getting a kill here. Is jiggle, yeah, check. Okay, you've seen it. Nice, big pick. Taking 5k out of weapons. Now you should be looking to do even more damage. Not bad. Yeah, perfect. Exactly what I said. Good pistol round from you. Just some minor errors on where you're waiting and stuff, but nothing too massive. You still take an AWP out their hands, armor out their hands. Overall, great round. Let's see what happens here. I've got a rifle this round. And you're going A. Again, I don't know whether that's been communicated by these teammates or not, but yeah, a little bit strange. But it's okay. See what happens. You should always have your gun out when you're coming into this angle. If you didn't know, they can, by the time you're here, they can be coming in through main, depending on how fast they are. Obviously, depends on the the movement of these players and the level they're at. But okay, so you've been flashed off. Obviously, you don't know there's a molly coming because your audio is going to be everywhere at the moment. But you shouldn't have pushed here. You should have fell back. Even just playing this close angle, they have to go all the way in to peak this angle. Like if you just come back a tiny bit, you have to come so far and have to be worried about this angle here. It's a lot safer. If this player was making a fast play, which typically if they're throwing such a deep flash, you're gonna expect someone to be swinging this area pretty soon. So you should have fell back here straight away. I don't think they punish you. Yeah, you get mollied off, and then you take that angle. It's not bad. If it was a different opponent, things, you could have died straight away there. There isn't too much I can really say because your team have just kind of fallen apart straight away. Here, your teammates should be calling, they're pushing B. So yeah, just a little bit slow in the decision making here. Realistically, in this situation, you're 3v1, you're making this approach up here. With this being smoked off, immediately go into a save, because they're going to have the bomb down, they're most likely going to be all covering it. I'm pretty sure... Bomb has been planted. I'm sure they give you some exits, but other than that, you realise at this point, I'm not going to be able to win this round. They're keeping an eye on it. Get this kill, which is nice. And then realistically, you should save here or here. So it's a difficult spot for them to get to rotate all the way across the map. Kind of leaving yourself exposed here. Sure. Yeah. So not bad getting the kill. Terrorists win. But yeah, you could have positioned yourself a lot better. If this guy hits an instant headshot on you, you've lost. You've lost your rifle and your util set. So, in this position, at the moment, you're currently useless. I hate to say it, but you are. You're not supporting mid. You're not supporting your teammate here who's pushed out. So, if he dies, you can't even trade, and then you're stuck in this situation where you don't know whether there's more of them coming. So you could potentially, call something that isn't true. You could be saying, "Oh, they're pushing A, they're pushing A," and then that pulls all your teammates off, and they can just go B for free. Let's see what happens. Okay. So your teammate gets a kill in main. Kind of has an idea, or maybe there's only one. Maybe he hasn't heard anything else. And you've been smoked here, which kind of indicates maybe there is more players. If this guy hasn't called that this guy's throwing the smoke, there could potentially be more players that have thrown this from various different angles, And then your teammate dies in mid. let you hold this a little while. Realistically, you should have booked it around here, held this angle, because then you can stop anyone getting into here, and if they're trying to come from mid to B to do a B split, you would have this angle held down. You have early contact from your teammates, so you don't really need to worry about A main. If it is main, you can simply just come back, and you're there pretty much at the same time as they would be coming in after making contact if you react quick enough. Or alternatively, you know, you can push through here, quick rotate, and maybe catch a player in mid, but I would immediately rotate into temple and just hold this position, and if you get pushed off this angle, hold this to hold the back line for your teammates here and here. Yeah, so they re-smoke temple. As soon as this happens, you should realise, oh, they're going to be pushing through. And because they're here, you should be aware that they can be here. Any of this platform, which I'm pretty sure you're going to get caught off guard here. Let's see. Yeah, it's unlucky. I think he jumped up on the edge here, so maybe you did see him, but yeah, just unlucky there really. But yeah, just need to make those rotations up. So this round I'm very confused by. You started playing B all of a sudden. You know, I think you're probably best on mid. You didn't really seem to know what you were doing on A, and that just comes back down to sort of knowing, you know, where you're best playing at, and sort of mastering one position before you move on to a different bomb site. Let's see what happens. Okay, so you've had a guy outside. Shooting. So your teammates died in mid. Teammates died on A. So this guy's realised this and has immediately rotated off, and this guy's checking mid. So you know that mid is, you know, relatively clear at this point. And this guy's going to try and rotate in to hold A, since A is just fallen. You've heard this guy run away. Now the bomb is here. So if you made the decision here at this point to go peek this, the time he gets to here, you will be peeking and he'd be picking up the bomb. And you could have ended the round right here. You could have killed this guy. This guy's already has the momentum going forward. You could have mollied this position off, and you'd have the bomb. Your teammates could come back, and it'd be a 3v4, in which, you know, you'd have a bit more of a say in how the round goes. But yeah, you just spent way too long in this position, just kind of doing nothing, holding for a push that ultimately never comes. When you're in a 3vx situation, so I think at the time it was a 3v5. Yeah, this guy just died. You know, you should be finding information out on the extremities of the map. So this guy's in heaven. He can't make this play at the moment. So it has to be you. You have to be aware. You have to look at your map and see, oh, right, so the position of my teammates, they're unable to get this information whilst we're down. I need to make a play. Let's go push B main. As soon as you push B main, you don't have to worry about this angle. You don't have to worry about them potentially lurking through. I mean, they can't, but there's always a potential right in the back of your mind. You just need to find this information out. As soon as you get this information, you know, if you kill the bomb carrier, great. If you don't see them, you instantly can call to your teammates, oh, it's going to be A. And this guy can rotate in quick to help this teammate, which I think this guy actually does quite a lot of work this round. Bails you guys out. So again, still waiting. The teammates even got a kill on A before you've decided to push. So if this was 20 seconds earlier, you could have been saying, oh, B's clear. And maybe you even catch the guy in mid. Maybe you don't. Maybe you could have made a play here. You know, you could be fucking this far ahead here. You could be catching this guy off, and then it's a 2v1. But yeah, unfortunately, just take a little bit too long in making these decisions on when to push. Obviously, this is something that comes with playing like a lot of games, but also reading the map and being able to understand when you should make these plays. In this situation, you should not throw this flashbang. This guy, obviously, you've been off the map. This guy, none of the terrorists know where the hell you are. You could be here, you could be here, you could be here, you could be here, you could be anywhere, you know, you could be behind the site, you could be hiding in the smoke, you could be fast flanked, you know, you could already be here. This guy has no idea. You throw in this flashbang, boom, audio. He knows. He goes, oh, there's a guy A main. I know that there's a guy in sight. I just have to take this 1v1, and then it's another 1v1. I'm at no risk of being traded immediately if I try and take this peak. A little bit slow after you've made. Once you've made this noise, by the way, in a 2v1, you should just be barreling, and this guy should be comment that he's hearing steps and you know where he is. You should know by now that he's around the pillar area. Obviously, I can't test that because I don't have the audio of the game for some reason. Maybe this was said, maybe it wasn't. But yeah, your decision should just be try and support my teammate as fast as I can. I don't know, it's a bit of a clown duel here, but I think your teammate wins it out in the end. So in the end, you get the round win, but it's very risky. And you gave them a lot of opportunities to kind of, you know, he could have killed your teammate, could have planted, could have posted up on you, because he knows that you've just flashed. He knows that you're going to be coming from there next. So yeah, it's just something to be aware of. You know, pick up the pace when it's when your teammate's being pressured and when it's in a a 2vx situation. Same as 3vx for 3vx situation as well, like the one from earlier when you were holding the bomb in the canal. Same situation there. Here, you shouldn't run across this bridge. You should go this way, because your steps circle, you know, your noise circle. This player could potentially hear that and call for all 4 players to rotate in, and then it'd be 4v5, which dramatically increases their odds of, you know, hitting some shots as you're all funneling through this choke point. So yeah, just try and be aware. Make sure you go this way, because then you're just alerting anyone who's playing close of your steps. Instead, increases your odds and slows down the rotations of the other CTs on the other side of the map. So I think I think this guy actually heard it. That's why he immediately turned around and went in here. Let's see. Yeah, so this guy heard the steps of you coming here. So that's why this guy's here. If you went this way instead, this guy's still holding mid. He's still expecting a mid push, and he won't know until you've taken this initial, until you got this kill here, that you guys are actually. Okay, so obviously, I wouldn't reload after shooting 3 bullets. You don't know where his teammate's gonna be. It's just unlucky, really. Okay, yeah. So in this situation here, you should realistically buy with your team, because it keeps the economy stable. And I think, if I remember correctly, potentially have the opportunity to burst into B here. So they've got this smoke up here. You could all group up together with your SMGs, and then it's a 4v2, and you can get the bomb down, securing extra economy for the next round, which I think you do actually end up needing. You have a poor buy. Yeah, so if you guys had just grouped up silently behind the smokes and bursted out, it's more than likely going to be a 4v2, and then you get these picks more than likely, because the 2 players that were here, this guy and this guy, only have SMGs as well. So, you know, if you just jump out like crazy, they're gonna have a difficult time tracking you, and there's gonna be twice as many players as they were at the time. I mean, even if this guy's here, he only has a scout. He's gonna tag one of you to half HP. It's in all odds you're gonna win the round if you just jump through that smoke with SMGs. But unfortunately, you just take these long range deals with SMGs. Look at these bullets, not so bad, but realistically, you should have a submachine gun in this situation. So yeah, in this round, if you'd done that, you would have had a much stronger buy, your whole team. This guy's got an SMG, this guy's got an SMG, this guy's got a Galil with no armor, this guy's got an AK with no armor. It's a bit crazy, but you know, you guys could have had a much more secure buy. It could have been more util. I mean, this guy could have bought an AK. I don't know what he's doing, but a little bit too scared of this hold, especially when your teammate's running through here with the bomb. You should just be pushing up together, trying to stick as a pack. You're less likely to die when you're all together, or at least can be traded. Here, you're an island. This teammate's below you. You're on your own. There's nobody else in mid. There's nobody here supporting you. If a guy was to push here and you was to lose this duel, you're giving up armor, an AK, a molly, especially in a situation where your team, you know, well, it's this guy with an SMG. If you lost to him, they'd be retaking 2v4 with an AWP and a rifle into 2 guys with no armor, an SMG, and a FAMAS. So like, there's a world in which they're gonna. I mean, this guy went crazy with the bomb, pushed and killed the guy with the AWP. You know, these things happen. But now you've heard your teammate in water die to a guy with an SMG, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, you're looking mid when you just heard him down here. Your attention should immediately be into holding this angle here, in which you can see he goes straight away. But yeah, the likelihood of him being immediately being here, unlikely. Now he's got his pick. He's probably going to fall off, take a different angle, and now you're holding it. You know, you're kind of just a little bit too taking a bit too long to kind of realize where they're going to be and when to make these decisions. Nice molly if he was waiting around. It's not bad. Probably, you know, pushing away from the exits. And then here, you know, you've not even taken into consideration whether he can actually be anywhere else on the map. Like, yeah, he killed your teammate here, but that was like 15-20 seconds ago now. You know, you spent all this time just basically doing nothing. This guy has had the time to come out here. You know, he could be down here, could be here waiting for your teammate. And you're running out with your knife out. I think it's quite lucky that you actually run out in time. If this guy had been a bit more aware and had just held this angle instead of tucking in, he probably catches you here with your knife out, or switching gun at least. And, you know, with your economy being as it is already, probably would have been very good. Yeah. Just something to be aware of where they can be and when they can be there. Mess around, really know what's going on with the team. I don't know whether they were trolling or anything. Obviously, I don't have the comms, so I can't really tell. Yeah, you shouldn't be full turning for that, especially with the smoke dissipating. I wouldn't even flash this, to be honest. The smoke is still up. They can't see through it. You could have just crossed and held it. If they were pushing, you know, it's a 50-50 who sees through the smoke first. And then, you know, you're either getting that kill or you're not. Who they got here? Yeah, so I mean, they were shooting the smoke earlier. Maybe you didn't realise with all the chaos that was going on with the team flash and the team nade and all the blocking and stuff. But this guy in mid has a shotgun and the other guy's a scout. So it's unlikely that he's going to one-shot you with a shotgun from this distance. So even just holding the smoke, you maybe get that kill. And if the guy with scout, unless he gets a headshot on you, which is, let's be honest, unlikely at this level, you know, maybe you get a free kill through this dissipating smoke. But always keep your crosshair head level looking at smokes in this situation. Crosshair placement could do with some work. You know, you're peeking into this angle, looking quite far away, still looking at the knees. Tristan's still looking at like lower chest level. Crosshair needs to be a little bit higher. Yeah. Just overall, I think you need to maybe go into some refrag pre-fire maps. Really focus. Don't necessarily focus on getting the kill, but just focus on where you're positioning yourself, where you're aiming, and where your aim's going to be when you're stepping out. So especially in this area where the stairs, you know, your crosshair is going to be here, and then with the slant it's going to be here. So you need to like make sure that you adjust to make sure your crosshair is always going to be head level no matter what. Now here, you're a bit slow to react, so your teammate is aware of this guy here. I don't know if it was called, but he's scoped up on it, he's shot. You should now be aware that there's a guy here, or like in this general area, and your teammate's here. Instead, you're making the decision to go here to check on the bomb. The bomb in this situation does not matter. You need to support your teammate who has, you know, what's he got in this round? He's got $5,750 invested. That's a super expensive buy, and you know, you're coming off the back of a really shitty economy especially, so you should be supporting your teammate here. The time that it takes you to move from here to here, you could have went here to here and killed this guy, and your teammate could have lived, potentially. Maybe he doesn't live, but at least maybe you get the trade. And then you're in a 3v3, and yeah. Well, it'd be a 2v2 now, but yeah, you'd be in a much better situation. At least you get the plant here, which is good. but you know, you're in a kind of unwinnable position. In this situation, you hide back here. You need to be the one actively taking the duels here. You should be clearing this, seeing if anyone's water. If no one's water, you immediately come back out, clear this, clear this. You need to take the fight to them when you're down, because they're gonna just pile on you. They're gonna check their angles slowly. Everyone's gonna clear everything, and then, you know, once they've cleared all the angles, they're gonna see what's left. Oh, this area's left, and they're just gonna, you know, double peek you. So in these situations where you're in a 1vx, you must always take the fight to them. There's very, very rare situations where you have to wait and hide. If you're on a 1v1, maybe, you know, maybe the bomb's planted here or something, and you're hiding here, and this guy's not checked it properly, and he's went down here instead, and you can get the flank on them. But yeah, I mean, it's very situational, but most cases in a 1vx, you need to take the fight to them. Exactly. So this guy's peeked you whilst you're fighting this guy. Like, if you'd taken the fight to this guy in water instead of letting him wait for his teammate to come, that's a, you know, you've taken a 1v1 out of the do. You've taken a 1v1 instead of potentially taking out a 1v3. Because, you know, maybe you kill this guy kills you. If you kill both of these, this guy's immediately swinging, and, you know, the odds just go down and down and down. You just need to take the fight to them. What smoke is this supposed to be? Is this here? I think you're throwing the smoke wrong, I think. Maybe it's a different line. So you line up on the edge of this corner, and then here, on the bottom of where the shadow peaks, you just jump through on that there. Okay. So you're making a lot of noise going out here. You know, you're stepping around here, stepping around, trying to avoid util. Maybe even try playing with toggle walk. I do myself. I mean, that is just because of my disability, but it might help you. You know, if you're struggling to keep down, even one footstep alerts. Oh, here's one of the 5 players on the map. You know, it makes a big difference when you make 0 sound to making just 1 step. I think you get a little bit lost in this one here, which is unfortunate. But they haven't spotted you. As soon as you hear this guy sprinting away, you should be pushing out the smoke and punishing him for running away with his knife out. Unfortunately, I think you're a little bit lost in the smoke. I think you're up on the platform. I think you think that you're up on the platform, but you're not. Which, unfortunately, after the amount of time that's taken you to come through here and wait for this guy to throw his nades and shoot through the smoke is now disappearing. Which leaves you exposed to this guy here, which just punishes you. Yeah. Again, it's just the little things, making these kind of quick decisions. It comes with time, but also, you know, it can be learned. Just making you aware of these situations will hopefully make you think, oh, I need to make this play now. In that situation there, even if you did swing, and most likely you kill this guy, even if this guy starts shooting at you, at least you've got 1 kill. Because now this guy's in the clutch. You know, it's a 2v2. It could have been a 2v1. So it's just something to be aware of. Which, yeah, you ultimately end up losing this round. Mainly because of that. Which is unfortunate, but throw the smoke again. You should take advantage of going out the right side of the smoke. I don't know if you do this very often, but from what I've seen, you tend to just come out the left. If you come out the right side of the smoke, they're kind of blocked from a lot of angles. Unless they're playing like around this area. If they're in con, it's unlikely they're going to see you. If they're on platform, it's very difficult, with especially with the smoke bloom the way it is. You can kind of get out here for free, and you're only going to have to worry about CT initially, well, on platform, but with it being smoked off, you kind of have this little island where you can kind of jiggle out, maybe take a fight here and there, and it could lead to your... Yeah, unfortunately, that's where it ended. So yeah, some some things to take away from that: being aware of what your teammates are doing, when you should do certain things, when you should make pushes and stuff, especially when you're down on your CT side. Your positioning, some little things, making sure your crosshairs at head level at all times, make sure you're looking at smokes, especially when they're fading. A lot of people like to sit in smokes until they're faded and then jump out of them, which could have happened with that shotgun player in mid on that T round. But obviously, I think you're a better player than the level that you are at. Unfortunately, you are in this kind of elo hell where you're going to get put with players that are not necessarily so good. But with Face It 2.0 and a lot of Smurfs being banned, I think it's like a couple 100,000 Smurfs have been banned, so you should be able to, rank up quite quickly if you just pay attention. Always sneak when you're approaching bomb sites and stuff. Don't give away that early information. One step, one pull over grenade pin, a flash when you don't need to flash, things like that. Give the enemy information in these situations where it's beneficial to them. So you need to think a little bit more outside the box. Think about like how the information that you're giving them impacts how they're going to play and not just how you're going to play. For example, when you threw that flash outside of A main, that's providing a lot of information to the enemy and how it's going to affect how they're going to play. It's not just a flash to clear this angle so that you might be able to kill him, because if he's not there, like he wasn't, it enables him the opportunity to try and win the 1v1 in the site, and then has the information and can be posted with the AWP, holding the position that you're in. Then you're in a chokehold and it's a 1v1. It's a high likelihood that you lose that situation. Fortunately, you didn't. But yeah, just picking up the pace, knowing where and when to make plays. Don't take it as like negative criticism, by the way. I think you did a lot of things great in that game. I think you were kind of burdened with some teammates that weren't really very cooperative, misbuying, not buying armor, throwing grenades at each other. Obviously, I can't 100% see the full story because for some reason I don't get the comms. Yeah, you didn't do too bad with the team that you were, with the hand that you were dealt, and the team that you were dealt. I think that could have been a much closer game if you'd taken the initiative earlier in a lot of situations, especially on the CT side. A lot of CT side ANUBIS is just taking space outside of A main and B main on timing. Just a pop flash here, pop flash there, peek out, see if anyone's there. If no one's there, okay, great. We know it's going to be either mid or A, or it's going to be mid and B, or some kind of situation like that. So ideally, I'd recommend playing in a trio stack that you're looking to improve with maybe some slightly higher level players so that you can get some elo gain. Because if you're playing in some higher elo lobbies, I don't think you'll suffer that badly, to be honest. The elo the actual raw game skill difference between the level you're at and like level 8 is not that far apart. It's just they're hitting slightly more shots and they kind of have a better idea of rotations and stuff. But if you're playing with these better players, you're going to pick up on this information. You're going to see how your teammates are playing. You're going to pick up that. It's going to soak into you like a sponge, especially when you're, I don't know how many hours you've got, but I don't think it is, nearly as many as a lot more experienced players. So it's better to do those types of things when you're still learning the game. I think it'd greatly benefit you. Plus you get extra elo if you do win when playing in a higher average elo stack. So if you have a good performance, you'll get like plus 35 elo. Makes these excruciating elo hell lobbies a thing of the past. Yeah, if you'd like me to do one of these again, I'd happily do it. If you want to jump in a call with me sometime, I can try and help you, as much as I can. I feel like I have a lot of experience and a lot of information that I can offer you. Obviously, there are infinite situations in this game. I'm not going to have an answer to everything. I can only point you into the sort of what I think is the best decision to make at the time. But yeah, just this has been more of a general overview, less of a micro overview of what you're doing wrong. But yeah, cheers, mate.